After watching Francis Ngannou box Tyson Fury, Brendan Schaub is confident that Francis would KO Jon Jones in MMA. Brendan says he didn't realize how good Francis is. On his YouTube channel, Brendan said to piggyback off what DC said, and DC knows tough men. DC said, bar none, Francis Ngannou is the baddest man on the planet. Who's going to beat him, Jon Jones? I'm on record saying this. I thought Jon Jones would smoke Francis after watching him do what he did to Ciryl Gane. Watching Francis versus Fury, I'm like, oh, he'd beat Jon. He'd beat Jon in MMA. I think he knocks him out. I didn't realize how good he was. I knew he was good, but I didn't realize he was this talented. I knew he was a freak athletically, but I didn't know he was world-class boxing, beat the brakes off the greatest of all time good. Who did? This is nuts. UFC messed up. Jon is out, Stipe is waiting for Jon, and those two are going to retire. That's a legendary fight. Chael Sonnen said this as well. I don't know if we ever get that fight now. We might, but now we have Tom Aspinall and Sergey in there now. But the greatest heavyweight is not in the UFC. The greatest heavyweight at boxing and mixed martial arts is not in the UFC. Who's going to beat Francis? Today, Conor McGregor posted some old training footage of himself prior to the third Dustin Poirier fight where he snapped his leg. As you can see, Conor's left leg was double shin padded and taped up. In the caption, Conor wrote, lead hook kick work out of both stances. Pre my last fight. You can see I have the standing back leg double shin padded and taped up as the damage was mounting on the stress fractures. I wasn't to be deterred though. Not then, not now, not ever. Where there is a will, there is a way. And praise be to Helio, there is a billion ways to win a fight. I didn't get to let a lot of these weapons go in the last fight, as it snapped pretty early on in the fight. I just didn't bear weight on it till the last few seconds of the ground. I developed the ability to fight on one leg when recovering from a full ACL tear years prior, so I was able to maneuver around it until the end. One of the reasons I went for the guillotine was the leg was already broke. I won all my UFC world titles essentially on one paw. All three of them. Heavy is the fight game. Only God knows and only God can judge. Anyways, happy days because it's not broke now. Now it's titanium. Tick-tock, you little bums. One by one. Michael Bisping and Anthony Smith believe Francis Ngannou has a real chance of defeating Deontay Wilder in a boxing match. They, however, say an MMA match between the two shouldn't even be able to get sanctioned due to how one-sided it would be in Francis's favor.
Deontay Wilder, Francis Ngannou in the PFL. God. We heard he's training MMA for 7 months. What's your take on that, boys?
Mate, I don't know if Wilder's big enough. I really don't. He's just not. And again, I'm talking like he's never won a fight. Like we've seen Wilder knock out lots of really big dudes. I don't know. Francis Ngannou's got a serious chin on him, and I think Francis wins a firefight. And I can't believe I'm saying that after watching. Like, if you would have told me Friday before they fought, come Monday when you're sitting on there with Mike, you're gonna be telling the whole world that you think that Francis Ngannou wins a firefight with Deontay Wilder. After watching him fight, I would have been like,
hey,
not a
mixed martial arts contest. Francis Ngannou picks up Deontay Wilder like Demetrius Johnson, puts him in his pocket, dances around a little bit, and then does like a bloody side body slam and squashes him to bits.
100%.
Because in mixed martial arts, that's not happening. That should not get sanctioned. Simple as that.
No. But after, during the match, as soon as the decision isn't even read yet, and they're saying, well, what if he doesn't win? Like, and then he probably goes and smokes Wilder. That's fucking crazy to say out loud. That's what I feel like.
Look at Wilder's legs. He would kick them once and break them. Right. He would break them.
No, I'm talking in boxing. I think he wins a firefight in a boxing match.
You'd have to back him.
You'd have to. That's crazy. That's crazy.
He took less damage than Wilder. Well, first of all, he got stopped by him twice, right? Or one was a draw, one was a stoppage. Was it 2 stoppages or 1 decision?
2 stoppages.
Two stoppages. Well, that never happened, did it? Do you know what I mean? Oh dear.
While being recorded by Tim Kennedy, Joe Rogan breaks down what 3 things an individual needs to do every day to contribute to society.
The question is, what are 3 things that you think an individual should do every day to ultimately become a good contributing member of society?
I think, first of all, you need to take control of your own health. And by doing that, I think you need to take control of your diet. You need to take control of your exercise routine and not just your health physically, but your health mentally. What do you consume in terms of, like, what are you getting from social media to what books are you reading? What are you consuming? Health. That's number 1. I think everyone needs discipline. You need voluntary adversity, things that you force yourself to do to make yourself stronger. whether it is cold plunging, sauna, yoga, exercise routines, difficult things to do. And 3, you need a passion. You need a thing that you do that you love. When you find a thing that you do that you love and you get better at it, I think those things become a vehicle for developing your human potential. And I think it makes you a better person overall. Those 3 things, I think if everyone can just apply those 3 things, you'll be a better person, you'll be a better human being, you'll be a better American.
Following Kamaru Usman versus Khamzat Chimaev, Robert Whittaker stated that he hopes Usman stays at middleweight so they could potentially fight. Daniel Cormier recently reacted to this and explains why he's all in on it.
I tap in. I tap all the way into this fight. I think it's a big fight, and I think both of these guys deserve to walk to the octagon in massive fights every single time. So if they're not fighting for the championship, they should be fighting championship level fights. So I'm all in on Kamaru Usman versus Robert Whittaker.
Eddie Hearn reveals that he heard Tyson Fury may retire after the outing with Francis last weekend. Eddie said, "I had already heard from somebody else a bit closer to the camp. They wouldn't be surprised if he retired. I wouldn't either. I think he's very up and down. I think a fighter knows if they're not the fighter they were. I don't know whether it's the Wilder fights or the inactivity or just age. That wasn't a big shot from Ngannou. It doesn't matter how you want to dress it up, it wasn't. He didn't look comfortable in the ring. He looked a bit fearful of Ngannou." Dana White has finally given his reaction to Francis Ngannou's performance against Tyson Fury. Dana says although he didn't watch it, he's amazed that Francis went the distance. On the Triggered podcast, Dana said the fact that he went 10 rounds with Tyson Fury is crazy. He just went 10 rounds with Tyson Fury. Conor McGregor made it 9 or 10 with Floyd. Anthony Pettis just beat Roy Jones Jr. I know Roy's friggin' 60 years old or whatever, but I don't know what the hell is going on. It's crazy. I didn't see the fight, but the fact that he went 10 rounds is unbelievable. I don't care. Listen, these guys at some point, everybody is going to move on. Everybody has to do what's right for them and make money for their families. So whatever they've got to do, they've got to do. Every time I get on the phone with one of these boxing guys, I go, what the f*** am I doing? Am I out of my mind? These guys are all horrible to deal with. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. These comments are in reference to Chael Sonnen saying that Francis Ngannou still fumbled the bag. The first one says, so Chael thinks making $10 million over 4 fights in the UFC is a smarter move than making $10 million in a single boxing match. I'm confused. The second one's from Flying Grayson. It says, I feel bad for Francis. He didn't get a $50K bonus for the fight with Tyson. And the final one's from the Undisputed Legacy. It says, love Chael, but him acting like Francis would make more money in the UFC is bull. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.